Hello everybody, it's Shirley, and today I am with a book that I bought from the thrift store a while ago. Currently in Australia we are still in stay at home, and the only shops that are open are the essential shopping. Now this book I bought from the thrift store and I only paid 50 cents for it. And the book is called The Giving Garden, and it's written by Tony Mackenzie and illustrated by Dale Brown. This is the cover, some very pretty illustrations. And this is the back cover, again some pretty illustrations. And we open it up and we go to the contents. It talks about what a giving garden is, and then it goes on to how to collect and preserve plants for decorative uses. Then there's a chapter about potpourri, and a chapter continues on with sweet bags, sachets, sleep pillows, and things like that. There's also flower and dried flower arranging, and then a section about making gifts to give. And then it goes into the section about plants in the garden that you can grow and how to grow them, and then the language of flowers. There is also an index for plant names and patterns. So this is the start, and then it goes on to collecting and preserving plants. These illustrations are quite pretty. They could easily be translated into embroidery, particularly the crayon tinting method where you use Crayola crayons. I need some more coffee, I think. Anyway, so what you do is you just trace the design and then colour it with your Crayola crayons, and then just put embroidery over it. So that would look very pretty, I think, as an embroidery. Then the book goes on to discussing how to dry your flowers and plant material, and the type of flowers and plants and herbs you can use. There is also methods for how to preserve your flowers and herbs, and there is also a section on pressing flowers and leaves and plant material. So that's very useful if you need to know how to do that. Then it goes on to potpourri and the type of flowers that are suitable that you can use, and herbs, scented leaves. And because this is an Australian book, it gives plenty of Australian plants as well. And again, it continues on how you can dry these plants for potpourri. And then it gives recipes for potpourri. And they're very simple, and you don't need a great deal of different types of things to put into it. And then it goes on to sweet bags, sachets, and sleep pillows, and how you can make those up. There are some cross-stitch patterns here. This here would just make a very pretty sampler on its own. Then it gives you more instructions on how to make suitable sachets, and then recipes. Then it gives, in this section, insect repellent plants and some specific uses of those plants that you can use. So it says to use against ants, you can use peppermint, spearmint, and tansy. So that's useful to know. Then it goes on to dried flower arranging. Making your wreaths and things like that. And then the last section is how to make gifts from these plants and flowers. So it's quite an easy book to look at. Lots of ideas. Lots of ways to use your flowers in your garden. It also gives some herb vinegars, so it's not just about dried plant material. And then the gifts are bookmarks and calendars and table mats and trays and things like that for pressed flowers. And then you have your sewn and scented gifts, so this is like your sachets and things like that. And then gift cards and coat hangers. And then kitchen gifts to give. And ideas for your pets. This is quite cute. It's for a cat and you can fill it up with catnip. So some cats don't like it or... And then it goes back into how to grow things in your garden for these scented gifts and what to grow, how to grow them. And once again, there's some Australian plants as well. And then it gives a list of the language of plants and flowers, which is quite good. This goes into the scientific names for plants. And then there are full-size patterns at the back of the book. Tony Mackenzie and Dale Brown are both Australian authors. So this book is very Australian orientated with the plants that they use as well. So I thought that was quite a bargain buy for 50 cents. The Given Garden by Tony Mackenzie and illustrated by Dale Brown. That's all from me today. Thank you for watching. Bye.